Hello, my name is George Velasic, and I'm going to run you through my final project for front-end web development 2. It was supposed to be a rehashing or a recreation of an already pre-existing website. I chose Sundown Salute. It is the local 4th of July or Independence Day festival in Junction City, the biggest of its kind in Kansas. It's a pretty big deal. Thousands of people come from around the entire state. And it was something that was a little concerning for me because, I mean, you can see just by looking at the website that it doesn't really have a consistent brand. It doesn't, there's not really any consistency whatsoever within the page itself. It's not aesthetically pleasing. You can look at some things, for instance, like vendors. The form itself is terribly formatted, like the numbers right here that it has on here. It's just 11111112. A lot of things that just look really unprofessional with this website. Not dogging the festival itself because I go there every year. It's a lot of fun. But like their vendor contract is on here to where you have to copy paste it into a document and then print it off. I'd made a couple small changes there to make it a little bit easier, a little bit more optimal. So let me go ahead and go to the front page here. You see that this is like just an all blue background. It seems like they're going with like a blue, yellow, white, and then this obnoxious blue color. If you go to the concerts page, where it has a schedule, you'll notice that for some reason the nav bar just doesn't even work. There are a couple pages that do that. Concerts. Schedules just has a random background that's not even consistent. That doesn't really make much sense. So I cover a lot of these issues going through this in my code. So here was my final project, my revisitation to the website. So I found like a consistent picture, and in Adobe Illustrator I went ahead and edited it to give it more of like a painted feel. Make sure you know it's got the patriotism right here, red, white, and blue color scheme. The red is consistent throughout everything, the red and the blue. I assigned them to variables in Sass, so it was consistent all the way through. The only times where the color was changed a little bit was like right here to give the shadow look on the before polygon for making the ribbon. And then the silver stars in there. This blue right here, it's a little bit of a color change too, but once you hover it, you notice that it's the same color as this blue. So from the top of the page here, I wanted to make sure that the sponsors were integrated in well. I guess we'll just start at the bottom. I wanted to make sure that the sponsors were integrated in well, but I wanted to also consolidate the amount of information on the page so it doesn't really push people away, but it gives them basically what they want, what they want, and again, it looks aesthetically pleasing. So on here, they just have sponsors, for instance, on the logo for information. They don't even have the sponsors information loaded in. This has that random background again. So I went ahead and found some old sponsors from last year and I put a couple of them in here. This is one of the jQuery public plugins that I found that I did choose to use. I don't remember the name of it. It is called... Don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But I have it just to where it'll go through one at a time. Single queue through there. Thought about putting a timer on there, but in the end I ended up not doing it. As you see, a little bit of responsivity here, with some text transforms. Yeah. This was the part right here. I was really happy with the nav bar and the way that this came out. Just the way that it looks. It's not fully optimized for the mobile for a what I found for just the regular like iPhone, etc. I do have some sizing issues, but I did find that it was before, when I was doing a lot of my code, I would mix pixel and EM formats and percent formats. But then I found the beauty of viewport width, and I love using viewport width. I find that it's minimized a lot of my viewport issues. What do I keep doing here? And I was pretty impressed with it. Just a couple sizing issues here that need to be fixed. And then, like I said, the text is quite small. But for the most part, it's consistent. Let's go. Yeah. But if you get to the higher formats, it formats perfectly for like the iPhone X and the bigger screens. Again, it's just the viewport width. I just have to throw a couple media queries to make that look a little bit better. Let me go back to regular size here. Shrink it down. You notice that when it's on like, for instance, if you're on landscape mode, it does come out consistently well if you have your phone flipped to the side. So almost there completely. So then we have different pages. We have entertainment, participate, and we have the about page as well as this index page. Social media information, and we have a Facebook right here. The footer, the way that I did this is I created divs with backgrounds and just positioned them with relative absolute positioning to where they were consistent on both sides. So we'll go to this page. Thing that I implemented in here, 1, 2, 3, 4 for headlining acts, a nice little album there for the featuring, and then under there I made a lineup list with a double-sided border. Thought it looked really clean, really straightforward, very minimal, but I've been working on trying to do a little bit more minimal and not do too much. Participation page. So that's what implements everything from their schedule, from their concerts. Unfortunately, I don't have a schedule to go by because they don't have a schedule yet. So, but a lot of this other stuff, the parades, the vendors, and the Freedom Run are all on their own pages, as well as the car show, which has no information yet. So I consolidated those down to participate because they're all participation activities. And this is a jQuery plugin that I created for the jQuery one before I realized that we needed to do a highlighter, so I did end up using it because it did come out pretty well. You can see right here, fades in, fades out. Kind of hard to tell with the text, but it does. Right here, Sundown Salute, so it has contact information if you want to join the Sundown Salute staff. Carnival right here has information for the carnival as well as linking to their site. Vendor information. This has the information that was all on the page right there, as well as I did put them into a PDF form, so that way you don't have to copy it over and everything, and it's something real quick that they can print off, but optimally it would be switched over to a digital format. And then I have the contest for the Freedom One run with more information, the annual car show, and then the parade as well with a registration form. Lastly is the About page. I went ahead and made a frame on here so that way it looks like a Polaroid picture to give it that more like nostalgic kind of feel. They did have Bret Michaels perform one year. It was a really big act, brought in thousands, and as you see it maintains its consistency relatively well once you get to the smaller viewport there. So yeah, wanted to try something a little bit differently. As you can see, it pulls in a lot of everything that was done here. I'm going to pull up my workstation just real quick to show you the search engine optimization that I did follow. I made sure that all my image tags were accessible. They all have alternative text, so that way anything that is visual does have alternative text. As well as everything does have meta tags with a description and with ample keywords for any sort of search queries. Styles right here, consistently done with the SAS format. and I also use node modules and everything. With using Gulp, I had to upgrade to version 4, and a lot of the information I had for documentation for like the browser sync was off, so that took a little bit of jerry-rigging, but I did get it to work effectively to where it's not shooting out any errors anymore. So yeah, if you have any more questions, feel free to email me and I can shoot another video if I didn't cover everything fully to your standard. But as you can see, everything moved over seamlessly. It's got a very consistent consistent standard for its web presence, and I think it really has its minimalistic yet fitting layout and scheme. Again, any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you.